What's going on, everybody? B. Scott here with
Judy.
And on today's show, we're going to the waiver wire. Week 9 is over. We just had a Monday night football game.
Yeah, it sucked.
Jets and Patriots, it was a lot more exciting than I thought it would be, to be honest. So, and of course, the Jets, they found a way to lose yet again another football game.
And Cam Newton is still a starter, thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 rushing touchdowns. So,
Yeah.
we're going to get in the waivers, talk about some players that are going to help you, hopefully, this week for fantasy. So, keep it locked and loaded right here at the first 4 downs.
Drop it.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. B. Scott and Judy here, and we're going over the waiver wire. Week 9 is over. We're looking ahead to Week 10, plain and simple. So before we get into today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb, bell, comment, let us know what we can do to be better for you. That's what we're here for. So We'll jump right into just to the waiver wire. It's time to go. We had a lot of
Let's
great...
get off into it.
Yeah, of course.
There's some good games, you know what I'm saying? The most surprising, Pittsburgh, they played terrible against terrible teams, and Dallas almost came away with that win.
Yeah.
I'm guarantee you everybody on the Dallas Cowboys team is thanking God they're on bye this week. You know what I mean? Hopefully we see some adjustments and we see Ezekiel Elliott getting back to, his workload, just being productive. Hopefully we get to see Amari Cooper. He even threw 2 duds in a row now. You know what I'm saying? So, he produces on limited production. He's due for a 50-point game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Very soon here. So
he's got to be. And Pittsburgh, they're my team on upset alert. Just ahead of the matchups playing Cincy this week. I'm telling you. Yeah. I got a feeling so. But we'll get right to the waiver wire, obviously. First off, Jared Goff, 63% owned. If he's available in your league, you're starting this week, period, playing the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sorry. He's a quarterback you should own. And honestly, you look at the playoff schedule. New England Patriots, Jets, Seahawks, week 16. So it's like he's a guy that you could keep on your team for that playoff push.
Yeah, especially playing this week, the Seahawks defense look more like the Seagulls.
I'm telling you,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, just giving up fantasy points like you get 100, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to get Jared Goff in the lineup.
Crazy.
That's plain and simple. So next quarterback, we'll talk about Tua. Played great.
Yeah, you look good, man.
That's what I'm saying. 250, 2 touchdowns. Preston Williams got carded. You'll have to worry about his health coming into next week. But he played good.
Yeah.
And for the big buys this week, Atlanta, Kansas City, those are 2 quarterbacks that are starting every week. You might be looking for a spot.
Yeah.
And
with Tua, you're not going to be looking at him with the upside of, like in their rookie years, Jackson or Kyler Murray or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be very limited, being mobile out of that pocket, given that he has a hip injury and everything like that. He's not up to full speed yet off the injury and everything like that. But he's a very accurate quarterback. So, just game managing. You're looking at what that defense is doing. All they need to do is run the ball, hit Preston Williams if he's available, hit Devontae Parker. Yeah. Gesicki's obviously a fixture in that offense that's not going nowhere. He's not elite yet, but who knows? Tua may be the one that bring him to that elite status.
Yeah, and they can't run the ball.
Yeah.
Jordan Howard, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He sucks, man.
He does.
He fell in the end zone, I get it, but man.
And Gaskins, he should be back here in a couple weeks, but after that, hopefully they activate Brady soon.
Yeah, of course. And Tua got the Chargers this week. Then they go Denver, Jets, Cincy. So he's got a pretty nice schedule. Be able to put up some points hopefully in the next 4 weeks. So
I'll put him on my bench easy.
Yeah, of course. So we got a couple quarterback mentions. Derek Carr. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in most games. I'm telling you. You didn't see the 2 touchdowns against Cincy in the crazy weather game. He still threw 1. And then outside of that, week 1, he threw 1. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in every single game. He's the ultimate game manager. Nelson Aguilar, he's catching balls down the field. They're playing the Denver Broncos. That defense is decimated. Las Vegas Raiders at home. Give me some Derek Carr this week. Definitely is a stream.
Yeah, I could dig that too. You look on paper, they're not the best team.
No.
But they just play with that spirit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're going to get it done. So, Derek Carr, he's hitting Nelson Aguilar every game for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar. So, you want to get him in your lineups. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, if you need it, go get it.
Yeah, he's a stream option. And on the flip side, in that same matchup, Drew Lock, we could talk about him. 5 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks.
Out, man.
He is. He's getting it done in garbage time. Denver, man, they can't stop nobody right now on defense. 5 touchdowns he's thrown in garbage time. Absolute garbage time. But, garbage points still count in fantasy.
Yeah, do, because you know what? We're not out here playing actual games. We're playing fantasy.
Right.
What you want is guys that's throwing the ball up, guys that's catching the ball. Jared Judy had a very great game. You know what I mean? He looks like he's going to be elite slot in the years to come. For right now, though, Noah Fant, he did have an ankle injury. he should be ready to go. If he's not, we'll see what happens. But Tim Patrick got an end zone as well.
Yep.
They're going to keep throwing the ball because they're going to be behind.
Yeah, of course. So those are some quarterback streams for this week ahead of week 10. So we can move to the running back position. First running back, Duke Johnson.
Dope.
Yeah, absolutely. So David Johnson leaves the game with a concussion.
10-year breakout.
Here's the deal. If David Johnson happens to miss time, Duke Johnson's an option. Plain and simple. Now, is he going to blow you away with stats? No. They're on the road against Cleveland Browns. Is it a great spot for him? Not necessarily. But if he's the starting running back,
it's a revenge game.
Yeah, that's one. Okay. You know what I mean? If he's got the starting running back role, he's got some like RB2, RB3 flex type value. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. Especially, if Baker can keep that offense flowing, they could be in neutral game script or possibly in negative game script, which I really don't see. But the neutral game script would dictate that he gets some passes out of the catch.
Yep.
He gets some passes out of the backfield, and that's what he does best. You know what I mean? Duke also, he averaged about 5 yards a carry running the ball. But the thing about it is he hasn't run the ball that much.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he can do in a full workload. But honestly, I would be streaming him as well, putting him in my lineups if I really needed him. If I, to supplement a guy like Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah. If I really needed it.
Yeah. Or Todd Gurley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you know what I mean? So definitely a streamer option. Just got to pay attention to David Johnson, his health. That's so. We'll move on. Sony Michelle, owned in 24% of leagues. He practiced last week. This is a guy not necessarily is going to blow you away, but Damian Harris, he did get hurt in the game tonight. He was seen laying on the field, period, for an extended amount of time. Barely walked off, so you don't know necessarily.
And not only that, you've seen James Washington tonight. He fumbled the ball, and we know Belichick, once they start fumbling the ball, it's pretty much a wrap for you for a couple of games. So you look at Sony Michelle upticking, he's back healthy. Hopefully he gets back in there. But, at this point, I'm scared of New England.
No, of course. But this is my problem. They run the ball. Their offense runs through running the football.
That's
so
nice.
Burkhead also, he did have 50 yards tonight and a touchdown. You can never trust when Burkhead's going to blow up or not, how many touches he's going to get. So Sony Michelle, he might be the active starting running back this week. They are playing Baltimore. Very tough matchup.
Hopefully he's fresh. He's no scrub.
Exactly. So we can look at another guy. I'm going to bring him up, J.D. Mckissick, okay? He's getting a lot of targets.
He's obviously not going anywhere in that offense.
So he 22 targets in 2 games with Alex Smith, playing the football game, period. 9 catches, 65 yards this last week. That's a pretty safe floor, period.
Very safe floor for the Bionic Man.
I'm telling you, here's the deal. Whether he's great or not, he's being utilized in the offense enough.
It makes no sense to me. You look at Ron Rivera and what he's done in the past. He always has one back, and he should just go to one back because the one back that they do have, Antonio Gibson, that guy's a monster. I don't understand J.D. Mckissick and his involvement with the offense at all because he's never been good anywhere he's been.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you can take a chance with that, given he's getting the targets, but can he produce on the targets on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah,
that's my thing.
They're at Detroit this week. It's just a viable spot to if you got a plug. You know what I mean? Not necessarily at this point in the season. If you're looking for players for the rest of the season, there's not very many out there. You got to look for to get lucky with players that are dropped. Don't get me wrong, things like that.
How big of a ceiling do you see for J.D. McKissick in this game, though?
It depends. You playing full point PPR or half point? That matters too. So any PPR format, I would say his ceiling's probably like 15 points. If you're looking at his ceiling, that's the tops. If you think about full point PPR, 9 receptions, 65 yards, that's 14. You know what I mean? So the 15, I would say, is probably the tops of the ceiling. And honestly, his floor is probably 6-7 points. Realistically, so it's not that horrible. Depending on, think you were starting Zeke Elliott for 2 weeks, getting you 6 or 7 points anyway. So we can move on. There's a couple mentions I'm going to bring up.
That's a burn.
Yeah, there's a couple mentions. I'm going to bring up. Kalen Balash. Right. First off, no, it's okay.
Mention him.
It's just a mention, right? He's been on 6 teams so far this year already.
I had no idea he was still alive.
I know. So he had, I want to say, 15 carries, 16 carries, 60 yards, touchdown. He actually looked okay. He looked better than Josh Kelly in that offense at the moment. Justin Jackson did go down on that first drive with a knee injury. We don't really know how serious it is. So not saying Kalen Balash is a guy you're going to run out and, hope that's going to take you to the promised land. But if you're in a tight spot and you might need to start him, especially in a deep league, man, he's a flyer type guy.
Yeah, I believe you there. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you there. That system is what it is. You look at Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson. This year, Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly. Now Kevin Ballage is added to that mix. So the production is going to be there. Just depending on the matchup, it is what it is. If you want to take a streamer on him, go ahead and do it because he's going to get the touches.
Yeah, of course. And then we're going to look to Chicago Bears, right? David Montgomery.
The Bears.
I'm telling you, David Montgomery gets a concussion. Was it Ryan Nall?
Yeah,
that's an option. Pretty good. Okay, and then Cordero Patterson.
Another revenge game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Cordero Patterson is definitely a guy that you might be streaming this week if David Montgomery has to miss. Is he going to get you 15 carries? Probably not. But he's a back that could get you 10 carries.
He's a back to get you 80 yards and a touchdown in one play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He really is. Guy's explosive. Great talent. You know what I mean? If you want to take that chance, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So that's been the running backs. We'll move to the wide receivers. First for me has got to be Jalen Reagor. Coming off a bye week, 24% owned. We only saw a little bit of him, and he did catch a touchdown. You know Philly, they're going to have to score points. The defense has been okay. It's been above average, but not great. They got some tough matchups coming up, playing the Giants, Cleveland Browns, Seattle Seahawks, Green Bay, New Orleans. All those games, they have to score points.
Yeah, but when you got that kind of speed, defenses, those coverages don't matter. You got to remember that Jalen Reagor coming into the season was the number one wide receiver in that offense. Just being drafted, you know what I'm saying? They had a lot of hopes for him. Carson Wentz and him had a big connection. You know, he was built to be the number one receiver there. Coming off this IR now, he's fully healthy. Let's see what he can do because we know D-Jax is not there. Who knows if Alshon Jeffrey ever plays another game? So
yeah.
With the Liz Frank or whatever. Fulgham is there getting a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And the rest of the season, they have a really great strength of schedule. So this is a guy that you're not going to cut. Even in the fantasy playoffs, they're pretty good with the matchup. So, you know, I'm grabbing Jalen Reagor everywhere I can go get him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to be, in my opinion, the number one wide receiver waiver. So we move on to another guy we'll talk about, Curtis Samuel. Okay, he's had 3 straight solid performances, 3 straight games with a touchdown. He outperformed DJ Moore. And for some reason, I don't know what is going on with DJ Moore. I'm not understanding. That's okay. He's producing.
Yeah.
9 for 105 and a touchdown last week. In an offense where Christian McCaffrey, you don't know if he's going to be, now he's injured with the shoulder. We don't really know what's going to happen there. Curtis Samuel, I was worried about him getting carries out of the backfield, like losing those touches. Now you're talking Christian McCaffrey might miss some more time. So just that much more involvement in the offense for Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, and Curtis Samuel, the reason why he's outplaying DJ Moore, I feel like, is like, you look at Green Bay a couple years ago, they got Ty Montgomery. Guy, he could run out of the backfield, run in the wide receiver position, and that's exactly what you're getting out of Curtis Samuel at this point. So when you got a guy with that kind of dynamic, they start to look. They start to not look elsewhere in the offense. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Roby being so good out of that slot, he's ridiculously fast. So you know what I mean? He's just catching those balls and going. So you got a guy like Curtis Samuel who could be a multi-dimensional type player like that. I mean, it just game breaks for what you want to do, especially if Christian McCaffrey will be out another week.
Yeah, of course. So Curtis Samuel definitely got to be picking up. 30% owned. He looks good. So especially over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Then we talk about Jacoby Myers in tonight's game. 12 catches, 169 yards, right?
Yeah.
3 straight weeks, 10 fantasy points or more, and back-to-back 10 points and a half point. And then tonight, huge breakout against the Jets. Essentially, he's the number one wide receiver on the team.
And he should be because, honestly, Edelman, Harry, they were not getting it done. Those guys were like plodding downfield.
Yeah.
What they needed was explosiveness, and that's what he gives them. And I think that season long, he'll still be getting a lot of receptions, a lot of targets, because they need something. And Cam Newton is pretty much fighting for his career right now.
Yeah, of course. 30 targets over the last 3 weeks. Like I said, 12 for 169 tonight. Cam's only favorite target, and they play Baltimore. It's tough spot there, but
that is.
Houston, Arizona, Los Angeles Chargers.
That gets better.
You know what I mean? So,
You know what I mean?
Cam's going to have to throw the ball at some point. He's going to have to score points. You saw it tonight. So, definitely a guy I'd be picking up. Not owned in a lot of leagues, plain and simple. So, a couple mentions for wide receiver. Christian Kirk, if he's available in your league for some reason.
Steal.
Yeah, 68% owned. If he's available in your league, I mean, the strength schedule down the stretch is ridiculous.
Yeah, you got
he's a number 2 receiver on a team where, okay, you let the number 1 corner take away DeAndre Hopkins and you got Kirk. You know what I'm saying? It's on the deep ball. So
they're looking for him for that deep ball often. So it's like, man, go get Christian Kirk. It don't make no sense for him to be on the waiver.
Yeah, Buffalo and Seattle's next 2 games.
Yeah.
That's all. That's huge points.
Yeah.
So, Brashard Perriman in the same breath with Jacoby Myers. 5 catches, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. I worry when Sam Darnold comes back if he's going to perform like Joe Flacco. We know Joe Flacco is going to air the ball out, period. Yeah. That's what he can do. That's it. That's what he's got.
Brashard Perriman, we've known what Brashard Perriman was when he got drafted to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Where Joe Flacco played, by the way. You know what I mean? So it's like we already know his dynamic. He was always a beast. He just could not stay healthy. We seen what he did with Tampa last year.
Yeah.
Well, it was just ridiculous when Mike Evans went down. So, you know what I mean? You look at the Jets' strength of schedule, they're number 6 on the rest of the season right now. And then you go into the playoffs, they're number 2 in the playoffs at the wide receiver position, strength of schedule. This is a guy that could possibly be a league winner for you, to be honest with you. He's great on the deep balls, big target, fast, strong. Go get him, because I'm telling you, if for any foreseeable reason that Joe Flacco could remain the quarterback there, dude, he's going to get the targets.
Yeah,
period.
Absolutely. They're on bye this week, so obviously you got to have an empty spot for him, but definitely a big player that you should be targeting. One other guy I'm going to talk about, Alan Lazard. Green Bay Packers, they're still hurting for a wide receiver too. You know what I mean? Essentially, Alan Lazard had that little rapport before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Down the stretch, he's a receiver that might be able to see some run.
What'd you think about MVS? Had a big game against San Francisco last week.
That's okay. It's MVS, man.
Yeah.
There ain't much to say. There's one other guy I won't bring him up. I actually totally forgot to write him down. Richie James.
Yeah, Richie James blew up.
Exactly.
Most of us expect to be back next week.
Okay.
It's always that. It's
and
like,
Debo
you know,
and
you know what I'm saying? It's like 1 week is McKinnon, 1 week is Hasty, 1 week is whoever. Most are supposed to be back on that team, and he's a 1A back on that team. Definitely. When he's playing the game, he's a top 5 back. So, you know, just watch out for that if you want to pick up that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So we'll move to the tight end. There's a couple tight ends you should be looking at. Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
Back at practice. We already saw 3 weeks before he got injured. Was around 10-point fantasy. That's tight end 1 at this point. If your tight end's getting you 10 points, that's a tight end 1.
Facts.
Exactly. So Austin Hooper's guy I'd be looking at. Harrison Bryant.
Yeah. Coming
out of the bye, you know what I mean? We'll see how that tandem works out. Dallas Goddard, another guy, 56% owned. Philly, they're going to have to score points, like we said.
And Dallas
Goddard is good.
He's very good. And I was going to say, Ertz has not looked great at all this year. So,
no.
I mean, I would be taking the chance. If I had to choose between the two, I would go grab Goddard.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
Every week.
That's
week.
My guy, I told you.
That's what I'm saying. Every week he's a guy, at this point, tight ends, touchdown, boomer, bust, and Jimmy Graham, he's on an offense where
he should not be on the waiver at all.
They're a negative game script. Yeah, of course. So we'll look at a couple defenses. Philly, 48% owned. Playing the New York Giants. Yeah. Definitely a spot for him. Plain and simple, I'd be starting them. And the New Orleans Saints just shut down Tom Brady. I get it. They haven't looked great all in the season, but San Francisco, they haven't looked good. I mean, they just got destroyed by Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
It's not going to be any much prettier against the Saints. So that's been the waiver wire for Week 10. All the guys that we're looking at to help you out, hopefully. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott,
Judy,
and we out.